Well, hello, and apologies for starting a couple of minutes late. I had to update my camera software, and I'm getting a bit of a delay on it for some reason. I have no idea why. It's a little uncanny. I'm looking at a live monitor, and it's about a half a second delay behind me. So I'm going to just look more into the teleprompter so I can see directly into the camera, look into your eyes when I talk to you, or try to. Had to clear my throat. So yes, for those of you who are unaware, today, October 14th, I had to double check that, is Thanksgiving Day in Canada. And it's a week later than normal this year. Usually it happens the previous week, but the way the calendar worked out, it was a week later than normal. And as a result, the weather's a little bit chillier than normal. Although today was quite lovely, admittedly. It was cold last night and cold this morning. This afternoon wasn't too terrible. The leaves really aren't changing that rapidly, which is weird. But I look around my neighborhood and a few trees have just started to change color, but most of them are still in full bloom and bright green, which makes one wonder when the weather's kind of chilly out. You don't want to venture out right now without a coat. Although there's still a few guys I see out running in their shorts. There's always that group of individuals that do that. Wear shorts no matter how cold out it is, it appears. My neighbor used to shovel, or a friend of mine, I should say. We were never neighbors, we're just friends. He used to shovel in the winter in shorts. And I'm like, I don't understand that. I'd be freezing, but to each their own, right? So yeah, as I wrote, you can tell if you read the scripture, what's going on. The change of season, I know it technically occurred on the 22nd of September. But I find after Thanksgiving, like the Thanksgiving Monday, I always feel a little melancholy. Much like I do at, Labor Day, the end of Labor Day. It's like, feels like summer's over even though it isn't. You still have another 16 days, technically, meteorologically. Usually around 30 days meteorologically, where the weather stays warm, but I don't know. I find after Thanksgiving, I just feel like, well, yeah, gotta hold on until Halloween, because Halloween's something to look forward to, and then that long haul of November. I find November is the longest month of the year. It is only 30 days, but it feels longer because we turn our clocks back, so we have much less light during the day, if you will. It gets darker even earlier, so the nights feel longer. The days feel shorter. And the cold weather starts to set in. I don't know if I've ever appreciated November. Honestly, I don't think I ever have. I think it's the worst month. For me personally, it just really brings me down. And then when December rolls around, it's like, okay, people start to feel a little bit more festive. They start to get a little bit of Christmassy. Whether you celebrate or not, that's neither here nor there. You might have noticed, even if you don't celebrate, that people tend to be a little bit more happy, jovial, joyful. They tend to spread it around in the way they behave, in the way they act. But I find November is just dark and cold. And it rarely snows in November anymore. Instead, we just get the Guns N' Roses song from Lose Your Illusion. One or two, I can't remember. The cold November rain. Yeah, November's gloomy. I think even old Gord wrote about it. Gordon Lightfoot, that is. Skies of November turn gloomy. So yeah, a day like today, it's well, I mean, I had plans today, and technology decided otherwise. So what I had intended to do didn't get done as a result. So that's a bit of a setback. I can live with it. I can roll with it, but it puts a little bit more weight on my shoulders when it comes to hitting deadlines. So I had 8 hours planned to do some narration, and I didn't get 1 second of it done because I had to fix some other issues. And that has its way of punching you in the gut, you know? 11 degrees outside in shorts. Yeah, that's, no. That's, yeah, 18's about my cutoff. I've been out in 15 in the sun. If you step into the shade and you're in shorts, I find it cold immediately. One of the things I've always found fascinating was, you take a Canadian and you send them to a southern climb in the middle of winter. And they're like, oh, this is great. You get back home and you're like, okay, I can carry on. I can get through the rest of winter after this 1 week I've had on a beach in Cuba or wherever you go. And then I find if a Canadian, moves south for an extended time period, say Florida, California, Mexico. I have friends who spend their winters in Mexico. I have a few friends who do that these days, actually. And the thing that I've noticed is that they say, if the weather drops below 28, they feel a chill and put a sweater on, which is funny for a Canadian, especially when you consider one of my buddies is living there part of the year. He lives in Edmonton. The man knows cold weather. But the funny thing is, the Canadians are the first ones to bundle up from the cold when it drops below a certain temp. I guess we get climatized very, very easily. It's the way we're able to function in the cold is we just get used to it quickly. Or accompanied, what's the word I'm looking for? It's not so much that you're used to it. You just become accustomed to it. There we go. That's the word I was looking for. You become accustomed to it, and as a result, you're able to adapt. But the part that makes it difficult for me, in November especially, is the lack of daylight. We get a lot of gray, overcast, rainy days in November, and something like 8 hours of daylight a day, 9 maybe. It's usually dark by around 5 o'clock, which is depressing. And it's usually too cold to want to do anything outside, but not cold enough to do anything outside. That might not make sense if you don't do winter sports in a snowy climate, but I find November, the outdoor rinks aren't open because it's not cold enough yet. The canal isn't open because it's not cold enough yet. You can't go snowshoeing. You can't go skiing because none of those things are ready yet. I do know people who bike in that weather, but I find it to be quite unpleasant, to be honest with you, because it's usually wet and damp and muddy, and I don't enjoy that. But that's me. Maybe you do. I don't mind getting hot, sweaty, and dirty and muddy in the summertime if I'm riding bikes through the trails. That doesn't bother me. But in November, when it's cold, yeah, that takes its toll. Yeah, I went out earlier for, last night. My beloved came over and we sat and watched movies. I had some chicken quesadilla and ate some pretzels, and the pretzels did not agree with me. Kind of destroyed my evening. So we watched some comedies too. The laughter is great medicine, so that's what we did. We watched some movies that made us laugh hysterically. One I've watched before. I've watched it, I think, 3 times. Last night might have been the 3rd time. It's an American remake of a British film, I love them both. I found the American one, there was elements of it that I enjoyed more than the British, believe it or not. The film is called Death at a Funeral. Both of them are incredibly funny. I don't know, I found the American one funnier. And usually that's not the case. Usually I find the British original funnier. But in this case, I found, not to take away, I mean, the difference between, was that much. It was that much funnier. And it really helped me get me through the night. Laughter does help. Anyway, I had plans today, and like I said, they didn't work out because of technology. So around 5:30, I thought, you know what? I know they're having a turkey dinner at the pub, so I'm going to go over to the pub and have a pint of Guinness and a turkey, mashed potatoes, vegetables, cranberry. And it was wonderful. It really was. Just chilled out at the bar, had a nice chat with the bartender. I was only there for about an hour, had a bite to eat, came home and took out Lola for a nice long walk. Now she's asleep on the couch in my spot because she always likes to take it. She's a wonderful dog who does wonders to help my mental health when I'm feeling down. She seems to have the ability to read when somebody's suffering. And last night we came in and I was sitting on the couch and she just sat right on top of me and was panting, like anxious the whole time. And I looked at Bridget and I said, I think it's because she knows I'm not feeling good. She's like, you know what? I think you're right. That little gal, Lola, my dog, not my wife. that little gal does that for people. I'll be out for a walk and I can see somebody sitting down on a park bench and you can see the anguish, the pain and the loss and the feeling of despair in their face. And as we approach, Lola immediately wants to go up to them. And I'll say, would you like to say hello? She's like, yeah, yes, please. And this has happened to, oh God, probably 20 or 30 people where Lola just immediately goes up and just gives them so much love. Some dogs are really good at that. I think she's an amazing mental health support dog. She just kind of zones into people who need her love, and she just gives it to them. She's an affectionate pooch. And I'm grateful and thankful to have her in my life. 1 second. Terribly sorry about that. I had to clear my throat. So, yeah, the seasonal change really does take an emotional toll on me and physical, I think, because I'm not getting the daylight hours. So, well, okay, let me back that up. Let me back that up and correct that statement, actually. Prior to having a dog, I wasn't getting the daylight hours. I was usually working on a job site somewhere or in an office building or something. And now that I'm working from home, even though there's no income yet, I take Lola out 2 or 3 times during the day, so I am getting more daylight now, more vitamin D, and that does help. And I do have one of those lamps beside my bed. They call them satellites, seasonal affective disorder lights. Electronic, SAD, SADE, LIGHT, seasonal affective disorder electronic light. And anyway, it's to help alleviate SAD, which usually comes along by December and can really affect you up until April or March, I say, when we switch the clocks forward again. And I always forget to use it. It's true. Oh, sorry. My headset's a little loud here and it sometimes feeds back because this is a very sensitive microphone. I forget to use it because it's on the opposite side of the bed. It's further away. Anyway, but these days, I'm sitting here in front of this console at 6:30 in the morning every day. And I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 lights on me in the studio. Yeah, just to light it up so that the green screen does its thing. And I look like a human being on camera as opposed to some troll. Or as Norm MacDonald used to say, an old lump of coal. Anyway, I find that in the morning throughout the winter doing this little show that we do every day, all this lighting does have a similar effect on me. It lifts the mood and lifts the spirits. So I'll probably start using the one in my bedroom by December, maybe November when we turn the clocks. And even though there's more daylight hours in the morning, well, 1 hour of daylight, it's still dark until like 7 a.m. So I get up at 6, so a little bit extra light would help, you know? Anyway, I do realize now that I meant to go to the store today to get coffee, and I completely forgot. So I think when I wrap this up tonight, I'll run over to the corner store and grab some coffee for the morning. I have to dive headfirst into the new job tomorrow as well, so I got a lot of calls to make and emails to make, following up with some folks, see if we can start getting some income generated, because it's starting to get pretty slim in the bank account. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. I'll be okay. I always am. I'm a survivor, right? Yeah. Anyway, 1 second. So I'm just getting a notification on my screen here for some bizarre reason. I don't know what it's talking about. Yeah, whatever. The thing about using I've been in the Windows system for decades. I still have my Windows box, but this is all run on a Mac Mini, and it's an efficient little computer. It really is. It streams very, very well for what I'm doing. It's wonderful. It's the entry level one for like $800. But there's all these little nuances, I guess you could say, to the OS that I don't care for. Things I was always able to do, I can't do, or I have to go and look and find a way to do it. And you think if I could remember that the next day? Well, no, of course not. I have to look it up constantly. Anyway, I don't want to talk about tech. That's my whole life. And hopefully my livelihood soon. So, just before I head out for the evening, I'm going to go and watch the rest of the football game. I did watch the Montreal-Ottawa game today, and Ottawa lost, sadly, by a single touchdown. But Montreal was the Grey Cup champion last year, and they've been the toast of the league this season, so I can't get too upset about that. But I think the Bills are playing right now. I don't even know who. It's NFL, so it's not as big of a deal to me. I mean, I grew up watching the CFL and going to CFL games most of my life, so you can understand my attachment with it. But anyway, we are well into the autumn season now. It's only a matter of time before the cold weather arrives, hopefully with it the snow, so I can ski, I can get out on the rink, go for a skate, maybe play some pickup hockey again. Nothing crazy. Just a little extra exercise. Yeah. Looking forward to the snow. I mean, if we get another warm spell, I'm looking forward to that very much. But if the cold weather is here to stay, let's just get right into winter, shall we? At least that's my thought process. You might think differently, and that's okay. That's the beauty of the world. We're all allowed to think the way we want to. As long as you're not hurting anybody. It's all good. So with that, I think I'll wrap up. I think I will wrap up and enjoy my beer while I watch the rest of the football game and cuddle with my dog Lola. And I will be back later this week with some surprise tidbits here and there. They won't be live. They'll just be some pre-recorded bits. I'm gonna sparsely, periodically is the word I was looking for. Periodically drop into the channel, as I am slowly growing it now. I think we're up to how many? I think we're about 7,000 subscribers now. I think. Yeah, 7,000 subscribers now. So, trying to grow the channel to get more people to come and view. So, we can create and affect positive change in this world. And the more people we can help, the better this world will be. So wherever you are, wherever you're watching or listening, I'm going to put this together and have it up on a couple of different distribution networks. So I might put it on Spotify or Apple or Amazon. Not sure how to get this on Amazon. I might have to just convert it. Anyway, I'll figure that out later. For the time being, I'm going to stick with the YouTube while I work out the rest of that. Do some more production work. So until I see you again, my friends, remember, one day at a time. And if you need to, just reach out. I'm always here. All right. You take care. I'll see you soon. Bye.